All right, well, welcome back to the official Atari Podcast. This is Jason here, joined again by Ethan Stearns, our VP of Games, and John, here we go, Kauderer,
you got it.
Senior Art Director here at Atari.
We haven't been working together that long, so.
But the problem is, it's not about that. It's more about how often do you say somebody's last name, or how often do you say somebody's name in general?
That's true.
Like, let's be real.
You don't say his name at all? What does that mean? Say it in general.
Well, I mean, typically, if you're talking to John or you're talking to somebody, you just say it. Like, this isn't Japan, where when I'm addressing somebody, I'm like, "Hey, Ethan," but meanwhile, it's just you and I having a conversation. Ethan, that's a great thing that you just said. John, that's a great point you just made.
For some reason, I always use your full name.
Every single time.
Every single time.
The whole time, you got to say the whole thing. Well, there's multiple Ethans here, so
that is true.
Use the full name.
Right.
Well, anyway, we're back. We're here to talk about. We're going to talk a lot about NeoSprint. We'll get to that later. But first, let's get into some news. A little bit of housekeeping here. It's a big. We're recording this on Thursday. This will go live on Friday, October 13th. So that would mean yesterday, Haunted House went live, and you can now get that for all platforms.
Great game.
It's on Switch, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Series X and S, PC, and the Atari VCS. Also, NeoSprint. It's out now as well on the Atari VCS in early access. So you can get that right now. And if you're in the Portland area or within driving distance where it's not an inconvenience to go to, Atari will have a presence at the Portland Retro Games Expo. You can check out the 2600 Plus there, and you can get your hands on Berserk Recharged. So that's exciting. It's exciting stuff.
And
anything else?
Quamp 2 will be there as well.
And Quamp 2, which is definitely worth a play.
Life Beyond the Paddles.
Yes, totally.
And I think our friend Tim Lepatino, who helped us with key art on Pixel Ripped and wrote the book about the art of Atari, is doing a panel there, which should be cool if anyone's going.
That is going to be cool.
Awesome. That's great. Good stuff.
You got to check out Albert's setup over there.
Yeah, totally. This is also the first time we've actually done since the purchase that we are actually doing a collaboration with Atari Age explicitly in the Atari family. So it's cool stuff. It's cool stuff. Now, we're going to talk a lot about NeoSprint here, and I want to get to that. But before that, I got a warm-up question. All right?
Uh-oh.
Here's a warm-up question. Try to keep these different here.
Like, he can't even. He's trying not to smile. He just loves this question. I can see it on your face already.
All right. So in the spirit of NeoSprint, it's a racing game. What is the most prolific thing about a race car? It's the branding. Okay. So here's the question: if you were a professional race car driver, who would you want to be your sponsor? It cannot be Atari.
Cannot be Atari.
Cannot be Atari. Oh, you got an easy answer? All right. Ethan, let's hear it.
Wonder Bread, obviously.
Wonder Bread. That's a pretty good one.
Well, that's Talladega Nights.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. There's not a Chipotle car, is there? That'd be a good car.
It can be taken or not. It's up to you.
You do love some Chipotle, don't you, John?
I do.
Yeah, there's always gas in the tank when you got Chipotle on your car.
Yeah, in more ways than one. Badoosh.
Totally
intended.
So Chipotle.
What about you, Jason?
Oh man, I mean, isn't it obvious? It'd be like any form
matcha.
Any matcha. It would just be a green. It would just be a green car, and it would probably be matcha full. I'd probably go with those guys. They would do it. I feel like there's another. There would have to be maybe there's like a brand with a pretty cool logo that would just go on just because it looks cool. But I don't know what that would be, because the problem is, like, a lot of matcha, they have all these very high-end, classy brands. It's not the kind of thing that I want something that would put fear. You know what? Screw it. I'm going to keep it in the games space. I'm going to say I would take New Blood. New Blood could sponsor me, and I would just put all their weird ass, dark, creepy art on my car. And that's.
I feel like there has been some game companies that have sponsored race cars. Like, I don't know about the indie scene, but on the NASCAR side, I feel like there has been, hasn't there?
Was there there was a Call of Duty car, wasn't there? I feel like there was.
Maybe. I didn't know until we started working on NeoSprint that the term livery was a word.
Yes.
And now I hear it all the time everywhere. It's like one of those things where someone explains a word to you and then all of a sudden it just like unlocks in the world and now I see it all the time.
Yes, somebody uploaded it to your Matrix simulation.
Exactly.
So now you have that word. It's been patched in the latest patch of
Totally.
reality.
What is it? Can you explain what a livery is, John? Since you've been living in it for a while.
Yeah, so a livery is like and I hope I'm right about this. It's like the branding and that goes on a car. So a lot of people back in the F1 days would talk about like the John Player car, which was like a gold and black car. So that would be like the John Player livery. And in NeoSprint, we have liveries that are based off of like Atari games and IP.
Well, we could jump in. Well, that's a good transition point. Why don't we jump in and look at some of the games?
I'm seeing just because I think it's interesting. I just looked it up. Livery actually means special uniform worn by a servant or official.
Yeah, and I think it has something to do with like horse racing too, but I might be wrong about that.
Well, if you're
maybe I just made that up.
If you're at this point and you're listening to the audio, we're going to be we're streaming some of the game now. We're going to do a little bit of a walkthrough, and if you're watching it, I should let you know that because of the program we're using, you might notice some choppy frame rates, but that shouldn't really impact what we're trying to do here and show off the game and various aspects of it. But yeah, show us some of the cars real quick. I think.
Okay, I'll show you the cars. This is actually the whole game. All you do is you go through these.
Oh, it's just a bunch of menus. Wow.
That's as far as we got. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
That's great.
Yeah.
10 out of 10.
No, here we go.
We're gonna wrap this up real fast. Nice.
Yeah, it is. I just wanted to show you the awesomeness right there. So a couple different game modes here. You wanted to see. We'll go into a free race, and we'll just race one of these. We can change race settings in here to like number of laps, amount of CPU players. We'll just lower that to 4. Difficulty, whether hazards are going to be there or not, and even time of day. 3 different times a day.
Well, it might be worth throwing in there since we're getting into it. Like, you are a senior art director at Atari. You work on a bunch of projects that, you from our website to logos to key art stuff. What is your relationship to this game?
Well, a couple of years ago, I was playing Sprint 2, and I was like, oh, this would be a great game to kind of to update. Sprint 2 came out in 1976, and it was a big hit for Key Games and Atari. It's actually one of the few American games to break the Japanese top 10. I think it was the number 7 earner in Japan the year it came out. And it was like in the top 10 arcade games 2 years in a row. It's a lot of fun. It was a bit of a series back then where they made an 8-player version, and that's kind of what inspired me to have like this game be like an 8-player version of Sprint.
And you pitched the idea internally.
I did. I put together a deck, and then I pitched it, and we got kind of the next phase, and then I did like a ton of competitive analysis, and then put together another deck, and I finally got it through the green light process, and then we had some friends of ours help us find a developer. So the developer of this game is a group called Headless Chicken down in Costa Rica.
Yeah.
So I am the white car, number 1.
How has been the collaboration process with Headless Chicken?
It's been great. Their feedback has been, they're pretty quick to react. This is a pretty ambitious game, and they've done a lot of great work. I'm really happy with the track builder, and all the little details that are in the game. And it's been a lot of fun. Like I probably have played this game for 160 hours at this point. I'm getting up to like Witcher 3.
And then it shows too, because you're able to whip your way around this course. I think it's sometimes the game definitely has more of a cartoon aesthetic.
It does,
but it plays less like a direct arcade game, and has a little bit more simulation feel to it, doesn't it? Because when I play the game, it doesn't look as good as how you're playing it.
It's definitely a game of skill. Being able to there's a little drift you can do, and there's also some advanced driving tricks that you could do. Like you could draft behind another car. You can, which will give you like a little speed burst. Should we see another track? Maybe a crazier track? I'll show you something. Let's try a free race. You can also do time trials. Those are a lot of fun. Maybe I'll do a quick time trial on, if you go to latest tracks, you'll see tracks from the community, or top wanted is probably a better way to go.
Yeah.
Atari Motor Speedway. I'll show you one that I built.
Yeah. So that's one of the, one of the biggest and most interesting features of the game is the track builder, right? So the ability to
absolutely
create your own track, upload it. And, I think as more and more people check it out and get acclimated, and we'll jump into the track builder quite a bit later.
Yeah.
But it's always cool to see, I think about it in the terms of like Little Big Planet, right? Like I never really was able to do much in that, but seeing what creations would come out from that small percentage of people that just went absolutely wild, it's always cool to see.
Yeah.
So it's a really cool feature to have. Yeah.
So I can't remember exactly how this lays out, but how different are the cars? Like, what is the difference of the cars? You should go over that real quick.
Yeah,
you explain
so there are 9 cars total, and they're kind of in 3 classes. So you have what I call, they're calling them touring cars here, and these are basically everyday street vehicles that people have slightly modified to race. And if you ever have gone to like an F1 race, oftentimes you'll see like the local club, racing club, and you'll see like old like VWs and like random cars racing. And then this is a prototype, and these are like basically custom built cars. You'll see these type of cars in like the Le Mans 24-hour, things like that. They're usually pretty. That's why there's some pretty crazy designs out there. And then these are your open wheel racers, which are they're kind of from different eras. This is probably looks more like a 60s era. And then that's probably 60s. This is probably 70s. And that's probably like 80s. So my favorite is this prototype car. So we'll start off with that one.
All right.
I like the Mini Cooper one myself.
Yeah. This is a track I designed last week.
Cool.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool. Like if you're not watching the stream or on YouTube, you can. It's basically the important thing to note about the game is that it's always single screen, so you always see the whole track. Which is pretty cool and keeps it in spirit with the classic Sprint series.
Exactly.
But this track that we're looking at now, it actually has a lot of verticality in that it loops in on itself and over itself. So you start by a big wide turn. What'd you call those turns that kind of like the bank turns, I think, or something like that?
Bank turns, yeah.
Yeah, you have a couple of bank turns, and then immediately goes to a bank turn, then you go over this large overpass, and then you go into a hairpin turn that goes under the overpass twice, and then you have like a bunch of really quick kind of sneaking roads to get to the final lap, to finish the lap. It's a pretty intricate track, especially considering the amount of screen real estate that's there. So it really makes the most of the space on screen. It's pretty cool. Cool design.
Yeah, this was a fun track to make. There are 4 biomes in this game, and there are some decorations that are specific to the biome. I'll just hop out of this. So actually, wait, I will upload. I got the 4th fastest ghost time. Wow. My favorite thing probably in this game is like time trials and trying to put up the best times. That's a lot of fun. We'll go back to the track gallery. Let's see.
Let's jump into you want to
check out the track builder?
Creator. Absolutely, yeah. Let's do that.
Okay, let's do that real quick.
Yeah, because you're gonna really know. You're gonna have all the tricks and tips. I was mixing those words. Tricks and tips for people on how best to do this. I think this will be really helpful for people.
Yeah, I think first I'll just show you a track I just built before we started this, just to show you. What's cool is you can actually change the angle of the track, and if you upload it with this angle, it'll actually this will be how everybody else will get to play it. And then you can also like change the time of day. And again, if you upload it, this will be the default. You can actually play anybody's track at any time of day, but you will be sort of stuck with whatever perspective they did.
Okay, so it's not like they can't mess your track up. Like if you send it to them, they can't like re-edit it or anything.
No, they can download it, but I don't think they can edit it after they've downloaded it. So I'll show you. We've got these 4 biomes here. There's the forest biome, the desert, the ice biome, and then our neon city, which is actually pretty cool. And we have 3 sizes of grid. The camera will actually adjust itself based on the grid. So the small track is actually will give you the biggest car, and it's probably going to be the easiest track to drive, whereas the larger one is naturally going to be a little more, it's going to require a little more skill. So I can just show you we're in Neon City here, which is pretty cool. You can rotate your track pieces. You don't have to start your track with the starting lineup, but it's a good idea to do that. You could start really with any piece. So there's curves, ramps, decorations, and then these are kind of the, I guess you could call them like the hero decorations. So we'll start, and there's also variants. So by hitting the Y button, you can choose some slightly different.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, to make the track a little more realistic. So you start off with the starting lineup. I like to give a little straight, so you get a lot of speed, and then we'll start with a mellow curve, and we have a number of curve options we can do, kind of a snaking chicane almost, and then a curving ramp. These are pretty cool. These ones banks are a lot of fun. Yeah. Well, there's a banked one, which is this guy.
Oh, I see. There's just like a wider one for like drifting.
Yeah. And then there's a real slow curve, which we don't want to put here. We might want to just delete this piece behind it if I can really quick. Actually, we'll go with that curve. And then let me see if I can, put a slow curve there. And then we could start going up in elevation maybe. How about we'll go like that? And then you can make jumps, or you could have it just change into the next level. You can go up 3 levels actually. So we'll put a little curve here.
Have you built a parking garage yet?
Kind of. I've seen people who've built something like a parking garage. So now I think what I want to do is go over this track. Maybe head over, or I could do that. No, let's do a big curve. Big curve going this way though. And then we'll cross over, make it like a bridge, and then we'll do a curve going down.
If there's people watching or interested in doing it, but they're like a little more intimidated, what kind of tips would you give them as they're jumping into the track builder and getting started?
Well, the easiest thing to do is, keep everything on the ground, start with the smaller tracks. That'll definitely keep the level of complexity low. I always recommend leaving, not hiding or not obscuring the starting line, because that'll just make it easier to race. So we'll do a turn here.
Does it have to connect at the end?
It does, and so what we'll have to do is we'll go through and we'll validate the track to make sure it's good. So let's go up another. Let's go up another level here.
You're mad. You're crazy. You're gonna go up, but you're already at the end.
This
man is out of control. He must be stopped.
Out of control.
He must be stopped.
Why not go huge? So I just kind of.
You broke your own rule, right there.
I broke my own rule. Right there.
You're obstructing the.
That's what rules are meant to be broken. And then let's kind of do the same thing. I think we'll do the same thing we did there, but backwards.
Just going down.
Yeah.
So the car's momentum will carry though going up the hill, right? So if you go too fast up that hill, will you take off? or do you like kind of stick to the track? It's pretty physics based, isn't it?
It is. You can actually I should probably maybe the next track I build will be we'll have some gaps. So once we've completed our track, we can give it a test. So
It's pretty cool looking, actually.
Yeah, that's a cool looking track. I like that. I like that one that kind of folds into it.
But see, I could turn it so I could see the start a little better. So maybe we'll do that. No,
It looks like kind of like an Escher drawing or something.
Yeah. So yeah, but that's a cool note though, because if you build a track and you like the design, and you're like, man, this might obscure the camera, you can find the best camera angle to present the track. Like this is a good angle, or minimize the obstruction. That said, they did a pretty cool trick where you can actually see your car through the track.
Yeah, that was one of the early features we discovered we absolutely needed was to be able to kind of have X-ray vision.
Like if you go full throttle up that ramp, you would go flying off the top, right?
You could.
Yeah.
I've made tracks where they've had like crazy jumps and stuff.
Yeah, I know. I've played them and they're brutal.
Yeah. So now that we have a validated track, we could upload this, but I think I want to add a few more decorations before I save it. So we'll go back to the track builder, and I'm just going to add some spectator spots. Maybe let's see, over here is a good spot.
Yeah, and the decorations don't have any impact. They're just purely that, decorations. So
they are. Yeah,
make it look like a more realistic setting, or as realistic as it can be in this neon-soaked environment. It's like the cyberpunk levels.
There is a little bridge too. I wonder if there's a spot where I can put this.
Oh, there you go. Oh.
Yeah, you need an open space, an open flat, which I actually don't have on this track, so I can't use the.
Can you put it under that bridge, like under that overpass area?
No, because you need a.
You get tennis courts, nice.
Yeah, this is kind of like a paddock where the cars would get ready for the race. I should have left a little spot for this, and I didn't.
That's cool.
Yeah, let's. There should be some. You unlock a lot of track pieces, so I might not have unlocked. There are like city structures on this biome. We could put in like a little bodega in there.
Do you have any record of someone who's made a track that uses the maximum amount of spaces possible? Like if you track it on like a 3-level grid, right? Like, do we know who's made a track that has the most fill of that grid?
That's a good question. I've certainly made some pretty crazy tracks in my day.
Yeah,
let me tell you.
Like I'm thinking a track that's like fully fleshed out, 3rd level, 2nd level, 1st level, and you cannot see what's happening in the second.
You want to make this parking garage, basically.
I basically just want to make the parking garage. Yeah, exactly.
I think next stream we have you make the parking garage. All right, so now we got some spectators. Now it looks a little more fun.
Yeah, this is cool. Yeah, and then can you make jumps over open spaces, or
yes,
you have to jump? So can you jump over obstacles?
Yes. So I made a track where you jump over. It was like an Evel Knievel jump.
Nice.
I'm just going to validate this one, save it, and upload it, and we can make a real simple.
This is pretty awesome. I mean, if you're not watching the stream, like basically John just put together a pretty dope looking track and decorated it, has this cool looking thing, and that took probably 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, he's done this a lot, but still, it just shows that, the tools are actually like really easy to get a grip on once you understand the rules. I think that's probably what people will struggle with the most. It's not so much just snapping things together and building stuff. It's more so getting a grip on the limitations of what you can do and where you can bend and break those rules.
Yeah.
But it is a very flexible system. Like I've built a bunch of tracks.
I think I said this before to you, John, but I feel sometimes like the game reminds me of like creating those like slot car tracks.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I was younger, I had those ones that had the little electric trigger thing, and you would put pieces of the track together, and the electric current would carry, and you could build all types of. It really reminds me of that.
Yeah, I put together a big giant mood board, and in that mood board we had some examples of people's slot racetracks that people get really into, and they kind of do like a model train kind of thing. So now that I built this track, I can actually race on it pretty easily. We'll take a different car this time.
I also went to a birthday. I remember a birthday party I went to with at one of those slot car places, and basically got my head banged on the corner of a door at one point in that party. Yeah, it was great. It was bleeding and everything. It was fantastic. That might explain a lot that's happened after that point. But anyway, slot cars, good times.
Yeah. So now you can just race right off the bat. You can also. I've uploaded this so I could put. My top. Oh, did you see that? That was like a skateboard trick almost.
Nice.
He did like a varial. I think they call it a shove it. He did a shove it varial.
There's also a, we haven't said it, but local multiplayer.
Yes,
is a big part of the game as well.
Yeah, you could on systems that will support it. You could play up to 8 players.
Oh, whoa, that's crazy.
Yeah, I think the most we've played in the office was 6 once. That was a lot of fun. Headless Chicken has played 8.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So you
Fun
think
little
about
party game then.
Yes, that is part of the reason this game. I was joking like this is a racing game, a multiplayer racing game for people that don't like racing games and don't have any friends, basically, because. You can asynchronously race against other people's ghost times, or we have the couch play, or so that's a little new feature they put in there. I don't know if you saw that, but
photo finish.
Yeah, the photo finish.
That was cool.
Yeah,
I haven't seen that before. That was great.
Yeah, so that happens if you're really really close to another player. So I'm Yorgel Inc. and I got first place on my own track. Yay!
Wow, you're really good at this game.
Yeah, so now if we go to race and we want to see, we want to do a free race or something, we should have our track up here in latest tracks, I believe.
All right, I'm sure all the other names for tracks will be totally appropriate.
Yeah. How much post processing do I have to do on this video to edit out some questionable names? Nope.
None. Pretty good.
None yet.
Great.
None yet.
All good.
Jacksonville.
So there's Steel City, which we just uploaded, and then there's the Stream GP, which I uploaded earlier as well.
So what's the difference? What is the purple versus the green tracks?
So these tell you what the biome is. So purple is Neon City, and green is the forest biome. We could go back into a different biome and do maybe a track with the crazy jump.
Yeah, let's do some stunts.
Okay, we'll do a stunt track.
And we're seeing some of these cool liveries too. That are all Atari games and stuff like that.
Yeah, this is a new install for me. So I don't have all the liveries unlocked on this one. I do on my other VCS. I have them.
I would hope so.
We're not doubting you. We know it's true.
There's a campaign mode where you'll race against these rivals, and beating the rivals will unlock a lot of the cooler liveries. Maybe we'll do another medium one.
So is that kind of like a? So it's kind of like a story mode, right? It's kind of like you have some missions you're basically taking on and meeting different characters along the way.
Yep, you'll go through. You'll go through and you'll race against. You'll do like it's sort of like a Grand Prix. You can create your own Grand Prix where it's.
Is that how it's pronounced?
I was thinking the same thing. Yeah, I was thinking the exact same thing.
So we'll try to do a jump.
It's like when someone told me how crepes are pronounced, and I'm like, you know what? I'm still gonna say crepes.
Let's see if this will work.
Dork Force is here.
Jumps without landing. Okay, so we could just build it really quick and make a simple one, just to show the concept, and then we'll make it maybe more fancy.
Totally. I think the way that the thing to really emphasize here is like the amount of possible content that's here, because you already have how many tracks are there by default? Like that were created by Headless Chicken
in the campaign.
Yeah.
There are like 4 tracks per biome.
Okay.
So, and there are 3 cups. So that is there are 4 rivals per biome. So that's 16 times 3.
Yep. So yeah.
Some of the tracks repeat, but they'll repeat in different time of day or different camera angle.
Right. But the important thing is like you have those at the start, but then as people start playing and creating their tracks and uploading it, there's almost a near infinite number of tracks that you'll be able to play and aim for high scores and bring in for multiplayer, and all the tracks that are created can be used for everything. There's no campaigns in that way, but if you're playing with friends locally and you're like, we're done with these 16 tracks, it's like, oh, okay, well, let's go online and pull the one of the potentially hundreds or thousands of tracks that people in the community have made. So there's really an insane wealth of content that can be accessed.
Okay.
Do you have to identify a tile that you're jumping over?
You do. So there is a way. Oh, you know what? I screwed up. I know what I did wrong. You have to set the so I've told this ramp to be I told it to to not be a jump. I told it to be a ramp basically, and I want it to be a jump. So what you could do is so now that's a jump.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. I'm like, why did that not work?
There you go.
It's probably helpful for the AI to figure it out.
Yeah.
And then by pressing the triggers, that's how you identify what kind of thing it's supposed to be.
Oh, I think this one, because it's a landing, I can do that. And now I can test. So I should be able to jump this.
Well, we gotta put something in there.
Yeah, we're going to. I just wanted to test it super quick.
Let's validate. We got to do a validating jump here. You can't just jump right into these stunts, all right? You think Evel Knievel jumped over those sharks first? No, he first jumped over an empty pool, probably.
I imagine he smoked a pack of cigarettes and then drank a 2-liter of Coca-Cola and then got on his motorcycle, and
maybe
that's how he did it.
Who's to say?
I think we should jump like a
I don't know anything about Evel Knievel. I'm not gonna lie.
I have this cool Evel Knievel Boba Fett. Have I ever shown you this?
Oh,
Evel Knievel Boba.
I've seen it in the background. I never realized it was Boba Fett.
Yeah, there's this hilarious toy maker group. I think that they moved to Las Vegas, but they used to be in this LA area, and they made this. They made these custom toys. So it's one of my favorites.
Are you deep in the Evel Knievel lore? Are either of you?
I used to love Evel Knievel as a kid.
I mean, I like the concept of Evel Knievel. I don't know the lore.
Oh, okay.
I think I really thought that the outfit was a cool thing. That's what I was mostly responding to. So now that I should be able to put this here. There we go. You just need an open square there. We'll get some spectators. I love like having like the little construction vehicles, because it's like when you're at a race, you'll see like, they needed to bring all the stuff to supply the racing team. There's the timekeeper's tower. That's to add a little realism. That'll be on every racetrack. You'll see that. And there's 2 timekeepers tower designs.
We're really watching like the Bob Ross of NeoSprint track creators here, where you're just like, what's he doing? And then it's like, oh, we're just gonna put.
Then
like
all of a sudden it's a track.
And then all of a sudden you're like, oh my god, this looks amazing. Like this looks vacant. This looks kind of whatever. And then all of a sudden he's like, we're just gonna put like a little spectator right here. We're just gonna put a little spectator here,
a happy
like a little bridge over here, and then like a happy little spectator, and then bam, what do you have? A beautiful track.
Oops.
That looks completely legit. It's quite impressive.
It's funny, like I haven't unlocked any of the trees, I don't think. So I would fill this area back here with trees. But
how do you unlock the various stuff in the game?
You unlock everything basically by playing through the campaign mode.
Okay. So if you go through the campaign, you get first place and everything in all difficulty levels. You'll basically have everything.
Yes.
So there you go. Hot tips.
That's kind of fun like that. I'll go with the original. So let's test this bad boy out now that it looks super awesome.
That was great. Yeah.
Again, it's been like 5 minutes. You've already created another course.
Yeah. And we have the Evil Knievel jump there.
Yeah.
Over the trucks. Woo!
Yeah.
Seems like you could have gone 2 squares even.
I know. You can. I've done 2. I don't know if I've actually pulled off 3 before, but 2 is a lot of fun. So this should be a valid track.
Yeah.
And we can just give this a name, or we just share it directly. I just share it directly because I think I can name it and share it at the same time.
Now you're going to be sharing it.
Let's call it Polanski's jump.
Oh no!
Polanski.
Don't do that. I want a 3-space jump if I'm going to have a jump named after me. You could share this stuff and you're going to post it in the game itself for people to play, but now's also probably a good time to plug the Discord, right? If you guys are making tracks, you could join the Discord and post about it, and hell, post it on any social media. Get the word out. Be like, hey, we're playing a cool racing game. We're designing some cool tracks. This is what's up. Check out NeoSprint on the VCS.
Definitely, and build those tracks, and definitely do some time trials and put some ghosts up, so I can get in there and battle against the peeps. I think my name right now in this game is Yorgel Incorporated, after my favorite adventure dragon.
Oh, nice.
So
nice.
Yorgel is actually one of the sponsors in this game. So you'll see Yorgel a lot on cars and posters and stuff in the world. So if you see on the bridge right there, it actually is branded Black Widow.
That's great. Now,
So
have you envisioned any sort of like dark lore that's taking place behind the scenes with these corporations?
I just killed some spectators. Sorry, dark lore? Yes.
Dark lore behind this, like what's going on? Like why is there a dragon running a corporation? And what's he up to?
I was looking at all the brands and I was like, which brands would kind of work? We didn't want to say like, oh, it's Centipede tires, but like that was kind of what we were thinking. Or like the Black Widow oil company, like they'd be racing related businesses, but they're named after Atari brands. Like the one thing we were joking about was it was the Major Havoc Insurance Company was like the Major Havoc sponsor.
That's a good one.
Because one thing we noticed early in our designs was that like the tracks tended to feel a little sterile because it didn't have like all the details of like what a real track did. So we're like, oh, we need brands, and they're like, well, where could we get brands from? So the one route is we could have just made up all of our brands, but then we have to have legal, like make sure they're not brands that exist in the real world. So we're like, oh, why don't we just use the brands we know we own? So yeah, you can see like right there, the Centipede.
Cotile.
Oh, you can see, Cotile. And you can see Yorgel. This is the Asteroids one, obviously.
I like the idea of Frisky Tom law offices.
Frisky Tom attorneys at law.
Yeah, exactly.
There's Polanski jump. Let's give it a shot.
Oh,
and if you're a VCS players, you can actually play these tracks. They'll be available in your latest tracks.
Yeah,
So
right now. So go check those out.
Jacksonville got uploaded 3 times there.
I know. Yeah.
I'll tell you what. If you're watching this and you play any of these tracks, put it in the YouTube comments. Say which track and what time. We want to hear it. We want to hear what's up.
Yeah, see if you can beat John. If you can beat John, then we'll send you a code to something.
Yeah, and actually, if you play the game and there are some time trial times in the game itself, and those are all based off of times that I set. So there we got number 1. Although that wasn't the best. This second lap.
And it kind of works like Trackmania style, right? Where you can keep going, like you basically just keep going over and over and over again and trying to beat your score until you're done, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So your second lap is probably always going to be faster than your first, right?
Because you get that head start. Totally.
So I just did a pretty good run there, and now it should that ghost should be uploaded to the servers. And then if you see a track you like, you can download it. And the good thing about downloading is, I believe that it'll allow you to play it local if like you don't have an internet connection for some reason. So now that just told us our Ghost is uploaded. So we will go back, and if you go into race and we go to our time trial again. Now when we see Polanski jump, we should have our Yorgel incorporated with a pretty sweet time of 18.99. So
Good stuff.
That's pretty fast.
Yeah.
So
if you're on the VCS and you get NeoSprint, go there and get haunted by John's Ghost and try to beat a score. Just in time. Sure. Then just like that, we've made it Friday the 13th relevant, which is when this podcast is going to drop. So perfect. Definitely. Good stuff. Well, thanks for John, anything else that you want to tell the people about NeoSprint that we should be aware of that we haven't covered so far?
It's in early access right now on Atari VCS. Can we tell them what the price is or
yeah, they could find out. So
okay. Yeah. You're going to find that anyway. You're going to find out one way or another.
Yeah.
So it's $14.99 right now for early access players. And you can get in there. You can design your own tracks. You can race through the campaign. And there's a lot of content here. There's a lot of challenge. And it's a game of skill. You will get better at driving the cars, and you'll be able to put up some serious top times. Yeah, and that's where it's at. I've been really enjoying working on this project, and love seeing this thing finally become a game. And it's one of my favorite games, actually. And I'm a little bit biased, but
yeah,
going to put another 160 hours into it probably.
Awesome, good stuff. Well,
yeah, it looks awesome.
Yeah, it does look awesome. Good stuff. Thanks for the tour. I'm going to kill the stream there, but before we go. We haven't done this in a little while, but I do like going around the horn and seeing, what games, non-Atari games we've been playing recently. So Ethan, he always plays a wide assortment of games and things like that. So
why are you giving me a hard time? I mean, I've been trying to play Starfield. I started playing Starfield again. I downloaded Cocoon. I'm planning on playing that over the weekend. What else? What else? I just downloaded. I just downloaded a platforming game that I'm also going to play over the weekend here. Do you remember what game that is?
Lunistus,
exactly.
Yeah, it's good stuff. So cool. Looking forward to hearing you report back on that one. John, what about you?
I am playing Baldur's Gate 3.
Nice.
And I'm loving it. And I did a battle with the Swamp Hag. That was a lot of fun. What I love about Baldur's Gate is there's always multiple ways to kind of solve a problem. Like you might find a dead corpse and you're like, could I talk to the dead on this corpse? Of course you could. And then the corpse will like tell you something like, oh, there's treasure over there. And then you go find it. Or like you'll find like a drow or like somebody who is turned into stone. And you're like, oh, I have basilisk oil. So let me turn this guy back. And then he'll like, either start fighting you or he'll thank you. And I have not gotten to the second chapter yet, but my guys are like level 5 and I'm kind of dominating now. So it's awesome. I love it.
Nice. Good stuff. And I'll just finish by saying I've been playing. So I played through Cocoon this weekend and I cannot recommend that game enough. It's really quick. You can beat it in like 3 hours or less if you're not trying to do 100%, which I didn't, but I did take my time. It's the less you can look into that game, the more I think you'll appreciate it. I haven't had any, wow moments in a game just because of gameplay. I think a lot of times now, like most of the games that take up kind of the clout and what people are talking about is about narrative or visuals or these other kind of things. But this is one where it was the mechanics and certain things that happen throughout the game experience itself, where you're just like, whoa. And I didn't know anything about this game going into it other than who made it and that people really like it. So if you have a Game Pass, it's on there. And if you don't, it's worth whatever they're charging for. I don't even know what it is.
It's $24.99.
Worth it. It's an immaculate experience. And from the moment you start controlling your character, even before you see what the actual hooks of the game are, then you're immediately like, oh, this is going to be something cool. I know it.
Because I haven't
it's
heard-
$19.99. Sorry, $19.99.
Even
oh
better.
yeah, it's 25. It's 20% off on Steam. Look at us. We're plugging in Annapurna games.
That's fine. It's good stuff.
It's called Cocoon,
Cocoon. That's right.
and it's not about you're not an old person who swims in a pool and then starts to become young.
Nope.
Really?
I
Kind of
mean,
disappointed.
there's a secret ending that I'm never going to see. So actually, that I
Really?
watched on YouTube, and I can tell you that doesn't happen.
Can you at least play as Wilford Brimley? Is that an option?
Well, you don't actually see your character up close, so you can pretend it's Wilford Brimley.
Oh, okay.
Why not? Yeah.
Now it's a game I want to check out.
Yeah, so check that out. It's good stuff. And also, of course, check out NeoSprint, which is available now on VCS. So with that, we're done here. Check it out. Check out NeoSprint. Check out Haunted House. And if you haven't done so yet, subscribe to the podcast, the official Atari Games podcast on iTunes, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. We're everywhere. And please review us on iTunes and
Smash
Spotify.
the like button, wish list.
Do that. Yep. If you're watching on YouTube, hit the like button, subscribe, all that other stuff. Tell your friends, etc.
Join our Discord.
Join the Discord. That was going to be the next thing I was going to say. So find that. We keep a link to that in the description so you could get easy access there. You can follow me on Twitter/X at Jays of Doom. Follow Ethan. Where can they follow you at?
I'm on Twitter at edoglost.
X.
EDOGLOST, one word.
And John, where can they find you should you want to be found?
I guess I'm on Facebook. I'm on LinkedIn too. I guess I'm old school. I must be old. I should those.
Yeah, you're in the back of
youngsters-
Craigslist. You can find me on Craigslist.
I'm on MySpace.
You see him walking around Queens occasionally.
Yeah.
Find him at that taco truck at Queens.
No, you know what? I'm on Angel Fire. You can find me on Angel Fire. Look for the dancing baby and the rainbow text, and that's me.
Okay.
Awesome. Well, great. Thanks for joining us, John, Ethan, of course. And until next time, thanks for watching.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.